When Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, recently said, "I am done with the prove it game," it resonated deeply with many Black professionals around the world. The reason why it resonated with them is because prove it game, the constant demand to establish your competency, your authority, and the right to sit at the table. It never ends unless you set the boundaries.
And if you can't see it, I don't need to prove to you why that's your loss. Because I know that I'm a great friend, and I know the kind of mom I am, and I know the kind of human being I am, and I know how I show up. And I love being able to be that person with the people that I love. So, worthiness, maybe part of worthiness comes when you stop having to feel like you're in the prove it game.
Hallelujah. I am getting emotional right now. Getting out of the prove it game, feels like joy, tastes like freedom. Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, in her first ever podcast interview. It's happening! It's happening!
I was like, oh, the roses are coming back in.
They're coming back in.
Yes,
they're coming back in.
Spring has sprung.
I'm so grateful you're here. It's gonna be fun.
Yes.
It's gonna be fun.
Hi, crew.
You made me cry. Good thing I have no makeup on.
You look so pretty.
I have not done a show in no makeup since my 1,000 QVC shows.
Do you think I have? What are you talking about?
You look exactly the same though. These are some of the hot questions that everyone wants to know. Talk about your name. Do you use Markle anymore? What's your morning routine look like? Would you ever write another book?
In workplaces and business settings, Black professionals often face what psychologists call the prove it again bias. Your expertise is questioned. It doesn't matter what expertise you have. Your fees, if you charge any fees, your fees are negotiated harder. Your contributions are doubted or even ignored until someone else repeat them, until someone else validate them. This isn't about skill. It's about racialized expectations and the exhaustion they create. When Meghan declared she was done with the prove it game, she wasn't giving up. She was setting boundaries. She was setting a boundary. She shifted from defending her right to exist in a professional setting, in public spaces, social media, in business, to owning her narrative. She used silence as a powerful response. What she also used in the statement was the strategic reframing to counter assumptions. And the third thing that she used in this very sentence, done with the prove it game, exit positioning, to control the tempo of conversation, the tempo of the narrative that has been spread out there about her and her family. And that's exactly what Black professionals must learn to master. This is why in our professional leadership program at the Drive Pathway, we've created this reframing statement toolkit. This reframing statement toolkit that we created actually to help Black professionals in their own workplaces, in their own business, sort of to give them toolkit and the strategies, how they can actually effectively interrupt the biases, clarify their role and contribution in whatever the role might be and the contribution might be, and also to reclaim their authority.
One of the biggest mistakes you can make in life is believing that everyone will see your worth. The truth is, not everyone will appreciate you, not everyone will respect you, and not everyone will understand the value you bring to the table. And that's okay. What's not okay is spending your precious energy trying to convince people who have already made up their minds about you. Too often, we chase after the approval of people who are not meant to walk with us. We want them to see our hard work, to acknowledge our kindness, to appreciate our presence. We bend, we shrink, we mold ourselves into something we think they will respect, and still they do not. Because their lack of respect for you has nothing to do with what you do. It has everything to do with who they are. Some people do not respect you because they do not respect themselves.
Yes, so with knowing this toolkit, you are not just reacting, you are leading the conversation. Silence and minimal response are powerful too, but they also must be paired with assertive reframing when false perceptions arise. Here was what that sounds like. To clarify my role would be that example, or you could say, I am responsible for, or briefly explain your role or your area, and I've delivered, or provide some key achievements or your result. Also, alternatively, you could say, I welcome constructive feedback, but my position remains based on my experience and my expertise. So these statements reset those false narrative without also sounding defensive. So when you say I'm done with the prove it game, you are not walking away from excellency. You are walking towards strategic clarity and leadership presence.
They carry wounds, insecurities, and fears that they project onto others. They see your strength, your confidence, your light, and instead of being inspired, they feel threatened. They dismiss you not because you lack value, but because they cannot handle what you bring. Others do not respect you because they cannot control you. They thrive on dominance, manipulation, and power. And when you refuse to be controlled, when you set boundaries, when you demand to be treated with dignity, they react with disrespect. Understand this: people who are used to walking over others will always have a problem with those who refuse to be stepped on. And then there are those who simply refuse to see your worth because they have already decided not to. No matter how kind you are, how giving, how patient, you could hand them the world and they would still act like you owe them something. You could show up with nothing but love and they would still treat you like you are replaceable. This is why seeking validation from the wrong people is dangerous. You will spend your life trying to prove yourself to those who will never appreciate you. You will exhaust your spirit trying to earn respect from people who do not even respect themselves. You will lose parts of yourself in the process of trying to be seen.
Your competency and your worth do not need constant approval. They just need clear, powerful boundaries. How these biases can also show in a Black professional business setting it's when passive aggressions or bias shows up between businesses or within clients or investors. This would often look like questioning your fees, your expertise, your authority more than competitors. Preferring to deal with your subordinates, somebody who doesn't even have any qualification, or business partners instead of you, the Black profession. And it could also come across as unfair comparisons to less qualified or less experienced competitor. Usually would be that a competitor from a wide-owned firms. Another thing how that this may come across as well is this delays or avoidance in decision making that would normally move quickly. And also it also could come off, or it could come off and failure to declare crucial information when decisions are going to be made. So you as a Black profession come across as an idiot. Most of these passive aggressions that target Black professionals are mostly rooted into two things: racial biases and stereotype threats. And passive aggression can include backhanded compliments. Oh, you're so articulate. The second one is downcasting. Oh, are you sure you've handled something like this before? Have you done this before? Exclusion tactics. The exclusion tactics is ignoring ideas that you provide professionally until it's being repeated by someone else. Responding verbally, sometimes it can be very exhausting and often plays into this aggressive trap and this aggressive Black woman aggressive narrative, because then it's trying to provoke this frustration or over explanation to diminish your authority. Silence can be viewed as power. So instead of over explaining or defending credentials, so pausing, breathing, let the comment or the aggressive email hang in for a couple of minutes before you respond to it. And also the non-reaction signals. Your tactics are beneath management. That sort of statement. So minimal acknowledgement be another one. How you could set the boundaries. Noted. I hear you. So if this continues in your own interaction, you can also use the redirection to professional standards, which could be like, let's keep this focus on our objectives. Please clarify your specific concerns if you have one. In this redirection to professional standards, following the same professional standards would be to control the tempo, the energy. Like, don't feel rushed to respond or to justify in real time. Take your time. And you could also say, I'll reflect and get back to you. Say, you could also use another strategy called the use presence, which is, in this case, on the video, you could maintain your neutral or calm expression, or even in chat and emails, you could use a clear, declarative sentences without defensive qualifiers. So why is this important specifically for Black professionals, and why this empowers Black professionals is because it preserves mental energy. It makes so that you as a Black professionals, you could avoid a constant verbal defense. They also so important in terms of empowerment, Black leadership, Black professionals, is that it also model that leadership presence that others must adopt when they interact with you, that boundaries line. And it doesn't mean also that when you set that boundaries line, others will respect that boundaries line. All right? And it's up to you to ensure that that boundary is being set, it's actually been respected all the time. So avoid certain stereotype traps, angry, defensive. The last thing that I'll say to that is that shifts the power dynamic. You control the conversation's directions and tempo. All right? And this very important clips, when you analyze that clip from the Duchess of Sussex, without all of that royal MAGA nonsense that's going on around her and Prince Harry, you can really see how this can be actually helpful for you in your professional life and personal life, how you could use the very same strategy. But somebody needs to unpack it for you. You need to have somebody that can break it down and reminds you that you deserve to be heard, and also you need to think about how you can stop it, the prove it game. All right? And set those professional boundaries. It also be like when your competitor or your senior advisor would give benefits of a doubt to one of your colleague or another service providers or partners who clearly have demonstrated they haven't done any due diligences, while also very much so scrutinizing the Black business owners' work excessively. The excessively evaluation that is unauthorized, that is not necessarily. This is how the biases can come across in a Black business setting, and then you can take the whole same thing anywhere as well. You could come across that way. So however, in business, silence and composure, it always implies authority. Just because the stakes are high, contract, reputation, or money, the strategy must combine presence with positioning. So meaning, don't rush to justify or explain when clients question your fees, your processes. So you could pause and you could let the comment to settle and respond in like, these rates reflect the scope and the quality of our work, and let me know how would you like me to proceed. So this another thing you must always avoid is the over accommodation. Passive aggression often aims to push Black business owners into discounting or over-servicing. Instead, hold your terms calmly, hold that, be calm when you hold those terms. Silence and steady gaze on a video or in personal signal, and really be clear what is not negotiable. Okay. The third one will be that documentation as power move. So professional email summary to confirm the scope that you discuss XYZ, and then also say please advise if there are further concerns and so on. So you must always create a paper trail and subtle reminder the other party that professionalism is being monitored. All right?
You have to be willing to walk away when people refuse to respect the limits you have set. Do not negotiate your self-respect. Do not allow people to treat you however they want just because you don't want to lose them. Because the truth is, if someone only stays in your life when they can cross your boundaries, they are not meant to be there in the first place. Setting boundaries is an act of self-love. It is a way of saying, I value myself too much to tolerate mistreatment. It is a way of protecting your peace, your energy, and your sense of self. And the stronger you become in enforcing your boundaries, the less tolerance you will have for anyone who refuses to respect them.
So another thing you could do also is leverage social proof. When undermined, don't get defensive. You must always be able to reference your prior successful outcomes. So, for example, I'm confident that we can achieve similar outcomes here because we've had these outcomes before and previously. Okay. The other last thing that I want to point out is this thing we call it control the conversation pace. That is so important. If someone or client try to push decisions or trap you into making a snap agreements, so you must always say, let me review this and get back to you. Never be afraid to say, I'll get back to you on that one. Even in negotiations. When you are silent during those pressure moments, that helps you to reset your authority as a professional or also in business. Why it works really well, it avoids giving aggressor emotional ammunition, because the aggressor is intentionally doing this as a provocation tool. So if you are actually responding and giving that, you're giving them ammunition. It also signals those executive presence, a key credibility factor in business. It also reframes those dynamics from seeking approval to choosing aligned clients or partners. Talk about this. You need to be very strategic about choosing aligned clients or partners, because whoever you end up with, it may end up be the person or that's gonna actually sabotage your success in business.
Silence, on the other hand, confuses people. It leaves them unsettled. When you refuse to react, when you refuse to argue, when you refuse to explain yourself, they don't know what to do. They expect a fight, they expect a response. But when you give them nothing, they are left alone with their own negativity. They are forced to sit with their own energy. And that in itself is the most powerful response you can give. Not everyone deserves access to your emotions. Not everyone deserves an explanation. Not everyone deserves your time and energy. When people show you disrespect, your silence is not weakness, it is control. It is strength. It is choosing not to lower yourself to their level, because the moment you engage, you validate them. You tell them that their words or actions have power over you. Some battles are won by walking away. Some wars are won by refusing to fight. When you stop reacting, people start to wonder. They start to question why they can no longer affect you. They start to realize that their words have lost their power. And that is when you truly regain control, not by arguing, not by explaining, but by being completely, unapologetically, unbothered. One of the biggest traps you can fall into is worrying about what other people think of you. It's natural to want to be liked, to be understood, to be respected, but the hard truth is that some people will never respect you no matter what you do.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Until next time.